morning, dear student. I hope you are doing very well. This is Sachin Patel. Up to now, we discussed the many more sessions and many more lectures. So today we conduct the one most important session, that is the morphology of flowering plants. Okay. Up to now, we conduct the many more sessions like the cell unit of life, cell cycle, cell division, as well as the anatomy of flowering plants. I hope you understand very well. If you have any doubts, please comment. Okay, dear student. So today we start morphology of flowering plants. So what is the morphology? We discussed from very basic, and in this chapter is a very important as per the NEET point of as per the NEET exam point of view, because every time the number of questions asking on this chapter, it is morphology of flowering plants. Near about the 4 to 6 question asking in this chapter. Is the most important is the families, most important is a root system, most important is a flower system, and everything is most important. We discuss one by one in the session, and after the completion of our chapter, we discuss about the previous question paper. You can understand what type of question asking in the NEET examination. Okay, so right now we are starting the morphology of flowering plants. Are you ready, guys? Let's start. First, we know about the morphology. Morphology of flowering plant. Morphology of flowering plant. So dear student, what is the meaning of morphology and what is the meaning of the flowering plants? So my dear student, the morphology is nothing but the external part of the plant. I think you recall we already discussed about the anatomy of flowering plants, right? In the anatomy of flowering plants, we discuss about the internal parts of the plant, like how to cell arrange, how to cell division occur, how to cell replicates, how to nucleate replicate, DNA replicates. All these things we discuss about the morphology anatomy of flowering plants. We discuss about the tissue system, how many tissue present, like epidermal tissue, vascular tissue, ground tissue, and then we discuss about the what is the xylem, what is the phloem. It is the internal part of the plants. It's called the anatomy. What is the external? External is nothing but the morphology. In the morphology, we discuss about the external part, external structure of the plants. Which external structure? Those external structure which can be seen our eyes in naked form, like plant roots, plant stem, plant leaf. After the maturation, we can see the flower formation in the plants, seed formation in the fruits, fruit formation. This all we see after the maturation in the plant. So what is the morphology? So dear student, morphology is nothing but external part of the plant. External part of the plant. And what is the flowering? The flowering is nothing but, dear student, flower forming plant. Flower forming plant. And you all know, in our environment, in nature, number of flower forming plants. Those flower forming plant is called as the flowering plants. Okay. What is the external? The external is nothing but, that is root, stem, leaf. After the maturation, the plant can formation the flower, plant can formation the fruits. These are also part of the morphological. These are the part of the external. Okay, it discussed after the some time. So what is the definition? What is the scientific definition of morphology? So right now, morphology It is external part of the plant, like a root, stem and leaf. Okay, these are the external part of the plant and is called the morphology. Study about their internal details, study about their internal details as well as in detail how to root formation, how to stem, what is the function, what is the leaf, what is the function of leaf, what is the main mechanism. Study about regarding this is called as the morphology. Okay, so next, we all know all plants start their life from the seeds. But before the starting of the main topic, we already know the all living organisms start their life from the single cell, and this single cell is called as the zygotes. All sexually reproducing organisms start their life from the single cell is called as the zygote cell. Same like the all plants start their life from the seeds. Okay, dear student, understand? The all plants start their life from the seeds. What will happen? Listen, we have our one seeds, doesn't matter which plants, but we have a one seed right now. This seed injected inside the soil. Okay, first of all we have a one seed. This seed can inject it in the soil. After injecting, this is the soil layer. After injecting this seed, it start the germination. Once it can be germinated, it can formation to output. It can formation to output. The name of the one output in the upper side is called as plumule, and the downside and lower side is called as the radicle. There will be the one question: what is the germination? How many germination time required? Dear student, in nature have a different types of plant, and different types of plant can formation different type of seed, and different type of seed can germinate. But germination time it can be varied, because germination requires many more factors, like requirement of proper nutrition, proper environment, proper humidity. Okay, depends on the nutrition requirement, seed can germinate. But in average, maximum or minimum, in average, the germination time is near about 8 to 10 days. 7 to 10 days is also. But before the 6 days, before the 7 days, not any seed can germinate. I am not talking about sprouting, Okay. But first, once the seed can inject in the soil, it stand the natural germinating after the achieving the nutrients. Once provided nutrients, it can start germination. Once germinate, it can formation the two parts. The one part is called as the plumule, second part is called as the radicle. Understand? But what is the plumule? What is the radicle? It's the most important questions. So dear student, understand, the plumule it can responsible formation of the aerial parts. Okay? It can formation the aerial parts. It can formation the aerial parts, and the radicle is responsible for formation the root. Okay, it can formation the aerial parts and can formation the root. All type of roots. How many type of roots occur? We already discussed, and once again discuss. 3 type of roots occur, mainly primary root, secondary root, and tertiary roots. Listen. Seed germinate, it can start, seed can inject, it can start the germination. After the germination, it can formation the two output. One is the plumule, it can responsible for the formation of aerial parts, and radicle is can responsible for formation of the root parts, the root system. Okay, what is the aerial parts? The aerial parts is responsible for formation of the stem, comma, leaf. After the maturation can formation of the flowers and fruits, etc. What is the root? It can formation the root system. What is the root system, dear student? The root system is nothing but in a plant, the root is can form underground the soil. Okay. Aerial parts, it can formation in the upper side of the soil. As well as the root have a different types, the primary roots, secondary roots and tertiary roots, depends upon their function. What is the function we discuss in the next slide. But what is the aerial parts? The aerial parts, it can go positive to the phototropic, okay, but root, it can go negative to the phototropic. What is the phototropic, dear student? The phototropic is nothing but the sense of light. A root does not require any light for the growing or increasing surface area in the soil, but photosynthesis occur mainly in the leaf. But before the maturation, if plant can be small, the stem also can carry out the photosynthesis, and we already know the small type of plants it having the stem, and this stem it will be the green. Why is green? Because during the small time, if plant can be small, there is a not large amount of leaf. There is a very little amount of leaf and very small leaf. It cannot be carried out, cannot be fulfill their photosynthesis mechanism, cannot be fulfill their food requirement. So during this time, the stem can be having the photosynthesis mechanism. After the maturation, the plant can be increased their side, the stem function can be changed. The stem function carry out the photosynthesis. In nature, we can see large number of trees like 10 feet, 20 feet, 25 feet. Their stem will be the green dark color because they carry out the only transport function, not the photosynthesis function. Because during this time, photosynthesis can carry out only the leaf, not the stem. The stem having the only one function for the transport of the food, transport of the mineral, transport of the water, for upward to downward, downward to upwards. Okay, and this the aerial parts, it can grow along the light direction, but root parts can grow against the light directions. And one most important, the root can go positive direction of the gravity. Positive direction of the gravity. So is also called as the positive direction of the geotropic. Geotropic. As geotropic. And the aerial parts, it can be the negative of geotropic. Negative of geotropic. Negative of geotropic. Okay, understand? After the aerial part formation, it can grow upper side of the soil. Root can grow underground of the soil. Please note this point. Next, once start the seed development, it can formation the plumal part. This is the ground here. This is the ground layer. Okay. aerial part formation. Aerial part formation. This is the stem. Stem, they are having the two types or two regions mainly. First, they present off the node, and in between the node is called as the internode. In the lower set, formation of the root system. Formation of the root system. They have the three types of roots. They have the three types of roots. In which types? First of all, they have the primary roots, then secondary roots. They have some hair-like roots, and these hair-like roots, it can carry out the most important function in the plant or mainly in the root system. And these hair-like roots is called as, dear student, it's a tertiary types of roots. Okay, these hair-like roots is called a tertiary types of roots. And the most important in the primary roots, they are having the most important region, and this important region is called as root cap. Okay, important regions is called as root cap. Is responsible to increase the surface area in the soil, because the root cap is the most important region. It can responsible for downward or moving to downward in the soil. The root cap is having the special type of cell. It is the mainly as a those cell having the large amount of Golgi, because the Golgi can secrete the one chemical, is chemical called the mucilage. And what is the main function of the mucilage, we discuss after some time. But before we discuss the what is the aerial parts. The aerial parts, they are present of the node, and this node can be responsible for the formation of leaf, like this. Formation of the leaf. Responsible for the formation of the leaf. Then the upper side, there is node can present near, and it is responsible for the formation of flower. It can formation the flower after the maturation, because they represent of number of node very close. Flower having number of parts like calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. In these different parts formation require different types of nodes. And these all nodes are responsible for the formation of different parts in the plants, different parts in the flower. So this is the node. In between the two nodes, it's called as internode. This is the leaf, responsible for the photosynthesis, responsible for the photosynthesis. Okay, and mainly one most important, here having the bud, and the axil is called as the axillary bud, is called as axillary bud, and upper side the represent of the one bud, this called as the apical bud, apical bud. But it having the ability to formation of the plants. Okay, so axillary bud and apical buds, these two buds occur in the plants. So basically in the roots having the three type of roots. Which types? So first, those roots can arise from the radical parts. Those roots can arise from the radical parts. These roots is called the primary roots. It's a primary roots. Those roots can arise from the primary roots. It's called as a secondary roots. Okay, dear student. and those roots can arise from the secondary roots is called as tertiary types of roots, like this is the third types, tertiary types of roots. And the most important function of the roots in the plant is the tertiary types of roots, because it is also called as the hair roots. Are they responsible for absorption of H2O and minerals, and it can pass up to the aerial parts like leaf, because during the photosynthesis require of the number of factors. Mainly the most important part is the water, because during the photosynthesis leaf require the water, and the main roots can absorb the water and passing up to the each and every leaf for increasing their surface area and carry out the photosynthesis mechanism. Okay, so please write down this, remain discuss in the next slide.